Hey everyone, hello. So today we're exploring one of the most chilling figures in Jewish folklore, the Dybbuks. I did a few spoken word pieces a few years ago, and I did one with the artist Little Da Vinci. So I'm going to put the links in the description box, so feel free to check those out after this video. So, a Dybbuk. What is a Dybbuk? It's a restless, wandering spirit that clings to the living. And the Dybbuk has terrified communities for centuries. And even today, it finds its way into horror films and cultural conversations. So, what exactly is a Dybbuk? Where did it come from? And most importantly, how do you get rid of one? Let's dive in and see. So, number one, the word Dybbuk comes from the Hebrew root DBK, which literally means to cling or to attach. And that is exactly what a Dybbuk does. It attaches itself to a living person, often possessing them, speaking through them, and even controlling their actions. Now, unlike demons from other tradition, the Dybbuk isn't usually considered a fallen angel or an ancient monster. It's a spirit of a dead human being. According to folklore, it's often the soul of someone who died with unfinished business, or unresolved sins, or even extreme trauma. Instead of moving on, they seek out the living as a host. The earliest references of the Dybbukim, which is plural for Dybbuk, comes from Jewish mysticism, particularly Kabbalah and Eastern European Jewish folklore. The stories become most widespread between the 16th and the 18th centuries, especially among Jewish communities in Poland and Lithuania. In these tales, the Dybbuk wasn't just a random haunting, it was tied to a moral or spiritual lesson. A Dybbuk might be the soul of someone who committed sins and couldn't rest, or it might be a victim of injustice clinging to the living in desperation. And it wasn't until S. Ansky's 1920 play came out called The Dybbuk that the spirit became widely known outside of the Jewish communities. The play introduced the legend to the world stage, cementing the Dybbuk as one of the most famous spirits in Jewish folklore. Exorcism is at the heart of the Dybbuk lore, but it's very, very different from a Catholic-style exorcism that you see in movies. A traditional Jewish exorcism is led by a rabbi, often one with deep knowledge of Kabbalah. The ritual may involve blowing a shofar, which is the ram's horn, to drive out the spirit, and prayers and psalms, especially ones focused on mercy and redemption, and then sacred names of God invoked to compel the spirit to leave. But here's the twist. Unlike demons in other traditions, the Dybbuk isn't always seen as pure evil. Sometimes the exorcism includes helping the lost soul find peace, guiding it to the afterlife rather than condemning it. And while the Dybbuk is distinctly Jewish in origin, the idea of spirits clinging to the living exists in many cultures. In Christianity, there are cases of demonic possession, though those are usually framed as fallen angels rather than human souls. And then in Islamic tradition, possession is often attributed to jinn, spiritual beings made of smokeless fire. And then in some African and Caribbean traditions, restless or angry ancestors may attach themselves to the living if rituals aren't properly performed. What makes the Dybbuks unique is it's tied to Jewish concepts of sin, repentance, and the afterlife, rooted deeply in Jewish mysticism and community life. The Dybbuk has made its way also into modern storytelling. For example, there was a film that came out in 1937 called The Dybbuk, a Yiddish film adaptation of S. Ansky's famous play. And then the movie The Possession came out in 2012, which is a Hollywood horror movie about a cursed Dybbuk's box found at a yard sale. And then in 2019, the movie The Vigil came out, a supernatural horror set during a Jewish funeral where a man confronts a Dybbuk. And of course, the countless stories about the infamous Dybbuk box, a supposed cursed wine cabinet that inspired online horror tales and even appeared on shows like Ghost Adventures. The Dybbuks is more than just a demon. It's a reflection of deep cultural questions about life, death, and what happens when the soul cannot rest. It clings not only to the living, but also to our imagination, showing how folklore, religion, and fear can intertwine into something that feels all too real. So, if you hear a voice that isn't your own, maybe don't assume it's just in your head. It might be something clinging. So, yeah, that's it about the Dybbuks. Thanks for listening to today's video. If you found today's video interesting, do me a favor and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment or two. So until next time, stay curious and maybe keep a rabbi on speed dial just in case. All right, everyone, take care. Peace.